Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. Happy Monday. We're finally back to a regular schedule, which means I finally get back to regularly scheduled stuff. So today, we have an Edison format build. And even better than that, it's an Edison format build that I actually used to play and one that I still kind of enjoy. So today, I'd like to talk to you guys about Six Samurai and how to do it different. But not exactly, it may not be better for everybody. So keep that in mind. Let's get you guys a deck list. Let's start going over some stuff, right? So first off, one thing I noticed from a lot of the historical decks is you guys don't really see a lot of great Shogun Shien being played. Now, pick him up, take a look at him, strike a Neos, whatever, storm a Neos. This dude was definitely around at the time, but none of the lists want to play him. And I don't know why. He's 2,500, 7-star, and if you control 2 or more Six Samurai monsters, and they could be the same name, you get to special summon this for free from your hand. The opponent can only resolve one spell or trap during a turn while this card is face up. If this card will be destroyed, you can destroy a Six Samurai monster that you control instead. So he can pass the buck, much like the rest of them. And again, there was a ruling. So, like, if Dark Bribe, Solemn Judgment, Magic Jammer, Spell Shield Type 8, whatever you did, if you had negated the spell or the trap in question, it does not count as them fully activating and resolving it. So that's why I changed the wording a little bit, just to mean that. Next up, pretty self-explanatory. You guys are going to want 3 copies of Grandmaster. Everybody in history seems to agree with this one. Especially during the time period where I think it was Royal Oppression was running around. You can only control one of these at a time. While you control a face-up Six Samurai, you can special summon this from the hand. And when this is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, add 1 Six Samurai monster from the graveyard to the hand. So again, you could set this card up multiple times in front of somebody with Royal Oppression. They could choose to pay life points. Every time they do, they destroy the card. Since he's destroyed by the opponent's card effect, you can just kind of keep summoning it through Royal Decree until they get the point that you're just going to keep doing this. Again, I got a couple golds. I want to say this guy was from Lost Millennium or Strike of Neos again as one of the promotionals. And again, it helps set this deck off with a quick 1, 2, 3 summon. And not too sure why I'm getting the fuzziness. Maybe because they're just too far up. So yeah, again, good card. Next one up, and again, this is one that a lot of people can agree on. Again, I tend to see Hand of the Six Samurai as a 3 of. Personally, I'd like to use her as 2. If you control another Six Samurai, you contribute 1 Six Samurai monster that you control, target a monster on the field, destroy said target. Again, Hand is able to offer self. It's another way that this differentiates from Mizuho, which is like her previous or past life self. And again, I like 2. I want to say this deck is actually 43 cards because it's one of those decks where you just go through a bunch of stuff real quick. Again, like there's tons of ways to recover. Next, I like to use 2 copies, Spirit of the Six Samurai. And again, this one does not get enough talk about it. So just real quick, this is a Union monster. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Union monsters, once per turn, if they are already equipped to a monster, they can special summon themselves off of the monster. Or they can go from being a monster to being an equipped spell. This will only equip 2 Six Samurai monster cards. While equipped, the monster will gain the following effects: that the monster equipped gains 500 attack and defense, essentially adding the stats of this card to it. Additionally, when the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you get to draw a card. Again, a monster can only be equipped with 1 Union monster at a time, and if the equipped monster would be destroyed, this card gets destroyed instead. There are a ton of reasons why I do this. One of my favorite plays is actually playing him for Grandmaster and then possibly into Shien, or simply using the Spirit's ability then to equip to the Grandmaster, which does not count as activating a spell, just in case you're going up against something like Heraclinos, Gladiator Beasts, or, you're going to go up against, like, your opponent's got the Shogunat, anything like this. It can sort of help you win matches. Plus, the draw card advantage is pretty strong. Next up, I'm going to use 3 different types of the 6 Samurai cards. These cards only gain their abilities, while there is a different 6 Samurai with a different name face up on the field with them. And additionally, the following 3, if they would be destroyed, I can destroy another 6 Samurai control instead. They all share those effects. I'm just going to kind of rapid fire these guys. I'm going to go 2 copy Zero. Attack and destroy face down defense without flips. 2 copies Yachi, or Yaichi. Yaichi is going to be able to destroy or target to destroy face down spell or trap cards the opponent controls. And I'm going to go with 3 copies of Zanji. And Zanji's special ability is going to be that anybody he battles, should be battles. Any card this card attacks, so it's not battles. Any card this card attacks offensively will be destroyed by effect after the battle. And again, like I said, all 3 of these have to have one of their comrades face up in order to activate and resolve. And again, if each one of them would be destroyed by an effect, you could choose to destroy another one instead. So again, just like the quick rundown, anything that was down like Reapers, Marshmallows, Iru goes ahead and clears board. Again, back row is pretty self-explanatory why we want that gone. And the Zanjis are just, again, it's anything. I don't have to win the battle. I just need Zanji to make contact. And that does round out my monsters. Now, moving to my spells. Again, since it is Edison format, Gateway is not limited. You want to play as many of this as you can. The way this works, anytime a samurai monster or monsters is summoned or special summoned, place 2 counters on this, 2 Bushido counters, and then you may remove Bushido counters from your side of the field to apply the following effects. So this and any other card that can hold Bushido counters can fuel the effects. For 2 counters, you can increase the attack of an effect monster. For 2 counters, you target 6 samurai or Shield effect monster gains 500 attack. For 4 counters, we can add a 6 samurai from the deck or graveyard back to the hand. And for 6, we may special summon a Shien effect monster from the graveyard. So in this time period, most notably, what we're going to be able to do is just go ahead and tutor anybody that we want outside of the Great Shogun, and or go ahead and resurrect the Shogun. So again, very important. Later on, this card would over-centralize when they finally got their own synchro and tuners. And, you know, the rest is history, right? Single MST just helps us back up the fact that we're only playing 2 Yachi. Normally, I see like 3 of him in lists. We are going to play the single reinforcement of the army. Again, smoke signal is not quite a thing yet at this point in time, so we just need to go ahead and grab a 4-star lower warrior. It's most of our lineup. 3 copies, 6 Samurai United. Anytime a Samurai monster or monsters is normal special summoned, you get to place 1 Bushido counter on this per instance. This card does have an upper limit. It can only hold up to 2 of these counters. And you can send this card to the graveyard. When you do, you will draw 1 card per Bushido counter that was on this while it was on the field. So again, it's either a draw nothing, draw 1, draw 2. Or it holds extra counters for you in case you were doing Gateway. Red-blue isn't a thing yet. So again, doesn't really matter too much. Last spell card, and again, this is because of ban list love. 3 copies Upstart Goblin. This card did not really over-centralize too many decks yet. So again, yeah, you just give your opponent 1,000 life points to draw a card. It's not that big of a deal. Because again, as you know, cards are power. This is going to have us with 6 draw cards, an extra tutor card, 3 permanent tutors that can go off multiple times, including pulling our monsters back from the discard pile to our hand, allowing us to just continually resummon cards like Hand of the 6 Samurai if we want to use it for some sort of spot destruction. And again, as per the day, there was a ton of trap love. So getting into the trap cards, you want to be running your 2 copies Bottomless Trap Hole. This lets you destroy and banish any monster or monsters that get special summoned as an instance that have 1,500 or more attack value. So again, Dark World comes out, they go, I'm going to drop the hand, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play, 3 guys. You're going to go, well, no, kind of thing. Next up, one called Haunted. Again, it's really good. Sometimes you just want to go ahead and bring something back just to go ahead and make sure that you do get an effect off. This is also another great way to just bring back the Shogun. Maybe your opponent activates a card real quick and you don't have a negate for it, but you can place the Shogun back up and force them into like not playing as many cards. It's good stuff. 2 copies Compulse, because again, compulsory evacuation device. We are dealing with like Gladiator Beasts. We are dealing with a ton of synchros. Even though this does target, it does not have a destroy effect per se. And being able to bounce cards to go back to the extra deck, back into the extra deck, because it can't exist in the hand, is just premium all the time. Again, I sometimes play some of these. One card I threw in, and this is just, this like, normally I play this at 42. I threw this card in to make a point today, was Dark Bribe. Dark Bribe is totally a card you guys can use. I always wanted to run these. I didn't have them back then. And the way it works is when your opponent activates a spell or trap, they draw a card you negate. So again, I mean, Stardust can get rid of this because it does say if you do destroy the card. And since it does have a destroy effect, Stardust can go ahead and get in there. No. Stardust can't on this one because of the spell speed. Counter Trap is spell speed 3. Stardust would be considered spell speed 2. I take that back. This is a way to negate and destroy something that Stardust can't target. So again, it was pretty good. But again, if your opponent is playing and you have the Shogun up, if you do activate this and resolve this, they technically get another try at their spell or trap that turn. So again, it kind of makes them go like, should I try to play a weaker spell and see if they'll let me have it? Or if I do that, are they just going to let that one resolve? Or will they negate it thinking that's the only spell I have? So again, it leads to some intense mind games. And again, you want to play like a good sideboard just for doing stuff like that, is what it is. Other great tech, we want to be running things like Dimensional Prison. Again, this is Stardust era. So again, anytime you can have that dragon just kind of go and sit in timeout permanently, it's good. You want to do that. An amazing technique card, and this only got better with Synchro, was the Double-Edged Sword technique. So the way that this card works is you target 2/6 Samurai Engrave, special summon both targets in attack position. Destroy them during the end phase, take damage equal to the monster's attack. Now, let's stop. Let's dissect this. Let me tell you how we're going to use this. Let me tell you how I used to use this. So, obviously, this is good. We can do this during the battle phase. We can get off extra attacks. Again, we're bringing back 2 at a time. That means effects are active. So if we brought back Iru and Zanji and your opponent had a monster that's too small and one that's too big, one that's face down and one that's not, Iru could pop off and take down the face down card without a flip, and Zanji could resolve the face up monster by his own effect afterward, even though it'll probably cost you Zanji. But again, how much bigger than Zanji was it? If it's Dark Magician, let's do the math. That's 1825. We're removing the 1800 point card from our side of the field and only going to take the 700 instead of taking the 18. So that would bring us from taking 3,500 points during the end phase down to bringing 2,400. So again, that's not a bad reduction, but there's a way to do this where you guys don't pay or take any points. The move I always used to play was Spirit and Grandmaster. This allows me to immediately summon my Great Shogun because I would have 2 names. But additionally, once the Spirit becomes a Union monster, he's no longer able to be destroyed by this effect because this destroys a monster, not the card. And because of this, when the Grandmaster goes to get destroyed and does not get destroyed, we do not have to take the damage for him. So essentially, you get a monster that you get to equip. It becomes 2,600, lets you draw an additional card. Again, it's not speed duel. You got a main phase 2. Maybe that card's going to be relevant for your back row. And this is just what's going to let you set up. So, good stuff. Give us a second. I want to take a sip of my drink. I've got some body armor drinks right now. Throat's feeling a little out of sorts still. But it's all good. It's all good. Next card. 2 copies Fiendish Chain. Again, the more effects we can take off the field, the better. Plus, we do stop the monster from attacking and changing battle position. So eventually, when we do have the Zonji, or it's something that can be ran over with Grandmaster Spirit, feel free, just do the things. Or, use enough counters off gateways to just go ahead and pump them up. A single copy of Solemn really helps out. And the last trap is 2 copies Starlight Road. Again, this is pretty vanilla for the time period. Starlight Road, if the opponent would have a card effect that would destroy 2 or more of my cards, negate and destroy the card. So again, Black Rose Dragon is like a crazy tech in this time period. Lightning Vortex is a card that's at 1. Torrential Tributes running around. Mirror Forces running around. Starlight Road really helps protect the boys. As far as mandatory extra deck, I don't really play too much of an extra deck. I've got 6 cards for you guys today. It's going to be 3 Chimera Techs, because again, if you guys are playing like old school tournaments, chances are somebody's going to be playing machines. They're going to have some Cyber Dragons. Just go ahead and snatch the field. And then I've got my 3 copies of Stardust Dragon. Could I have made it 2? Yes. Yes, I could have. But I chose to just pick the 3rd one out of the box again. I felt he would be lonely without his brethren. But this is the deck. This is my version of an Edison build 6 Samurai deck. Again, like I said, it's 43 cards, 6 card extra deck. Side deck is your preferences. Again, at this time period, like, because of the way our effects are rainbowed, well, not our effects, but our attributes are sort of rainbowed out. You could run light and shadow imprisoning mirrors. You could run just whatever you want in the side deck tech. You could have stuff like Dark Bribes. You could play a bunch of counter stuff to make it a lot harder for the opponent's games 2 and 3. You could play stuff that limits how fast Gladiator Beasts can do their job. Banisher Radiance is kind of a thing in this time period, I believe. Again, there's so much that can be done with this, but it's a good, solid, basic deck. This one isn't going to exactly break your budget. A lot of these cards can be found as reprints, can be found as commons. So again, it's a good, enjoyable deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, comment, like, sub. Tell me which deck you guys want to see maybe next, and I'll get you guys another Edison build next week. I got 2 requests coming up this week. We've got a Moki Moki for Friday. And we've got an update for Wednesday on Destiny Heroes. Now, I assume the Destiny Hero request was for a speed duel video, because I believe it was on a speed duel video the comment was made. And it's really just an update. It's not even a whole new deck. So, should be a quick one. Should be enjoyable. We do have a speed duel spotlight already picked out. I apologize. It's going to be a bit of a rant, but in a good way. So, there's that. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Do the things, don't do the things. Do me one favor. Go out there, work on some mental health stuff tonight, okay? Tomorrow, the next day as well. And I don't care what that means for you. If that means going and binging your favorite anime, go do that. Personally, I'm watching Freerun right now, the Journey's End or whatever it's called. It's pretty good stuff. If it means making a pot of tea and sitting there reading D&D manuals or whatever, go do that. Okay? Take care of yourselves, my friends. I hope to see you guys on the next video. Later.